The Eagles impressed in Tampa Bay last night, despite Jalen Hurts having the flu. Jalen Carter and Sidney Brown, they shine for defensive coordinator Sean Desai, and the Eagles, they might have found their new superstar. I'm Thomas Mott. This is the Thomas Mott Show. What's up, guys? Thomas Mott here. Welcome to the Thomas Mott Show on a Tuesday. Philadelphia dominant last night. They're 3-0, despite a lot of people on Twitter seemingly still being upset about the fact they're not perfect on every single drive. Let's go through everything they did last night in a very impressive win on the road against the previously undefeated Bucs. Let's start pregame, though, with Jalen Hurts. Warming up, looked fine, but according to media reports, he was dealing with some flu-like symptoms, and he wasn't the only one. There were multiple members of the Eagles' offense and defense who were a little bit under the weather. Thankfully, though, it didn't seem to affect them when they got playing against the Bucs. Also worth note, Devon was activated to the practice squad, so he got a little bit of playtime there at kick returner. One real kick, didn't really do much with it, but fun to see number 82 and that track star speed maybe start working his way back to the active roster. Now, the Eagles' game plan was very simple early on. Get the football to A.J. Brown. After last week's debacle on Thursday night, or at least a little bit of drama coming from the sideline, they looked for the always open number 11, and he was very open on that Eagles opening drive. Apparently, though, he got some extra motivation from a rowdy Bucs fan in pregame.
The fan that was talking noise and telling you pissed him off. Yeah, he was talking mad crazy while we was praying. Sorry.
Now, anyone with just a functioning brain knew they were going to try to target A.J. Brown early and often. You thought the Bucs would try and at least target that a little bit, but A.J. Brown was open a lot at that opening drive. The Eagles went right down the field, but then stalled in the red zone, which is when I nitpicked the Eagles offense a little bit last night. It's red zone play calling and red zone conversion. Why are you running the football with Kenny Gainwell on 4th down and 2? It makes absolutely no sense. Thankfully, the Eagles defense, which will be a common theme of the show today, was dominant on their opening drive and basically every drive since then, leading to a punt. And how about Britton Covey? Instead of the normal catch the football, run straight into an opposing player and get obliterated, crash test Covey, he had his best punt return as an Eagle. He earned his active roster spot signing to the 53-man this past week, and if he keeps returning punts like that, we're all going to be big Team Coveys here on the Thomas Mott Show. Now, I'm sure Philadelphia heard all the hype about the Kelsey and Swift combination in Kansas City that we just blasted all over Twitter and all over social media. They decided to use a combination of their own Kelsey and Swift. That's DeAndre Swift and Jason Kelsey, and it was very evident early on that this is DeAndre Swift's team in terms of running the football. The amount of wide open lanes this offensive line not only created for him, but that he created for himself, the big runs. How about hurdling over a defender? DeAndre Swift now has gone for over 135 yards for each of the past 2 weeks. He's number 2 right now in the entire NFL in rushing, and that's without basically playing in week 1.
He's been a big time player for us, and see him jumping over guys. I don't know if I've seen that in a long time, but he's kind of marking his territory, I feel like, with that, and he's pushing everybody else around him. So, we just need him to keep playing great ball.
Jalen Hurts sees it. Other Eagle offensive players see it. They clearly understand that DeAndre Swift gives them the best chance to run all over teams, to win football games. He needs to be the running back number 1 for the majority of every single drive over the next couple of weeks, months, signed to a contract extension. I don't care. You cannot have the rushing attack Philadelphia Eagles have, and at the same time go, yeah, we need to give more carries to Kenny Gainwell. And I'm fine with getting Gainwell involved a little bit, but DeAndre Swift has 100% earned the right to be RB1. Thumbs up for what he's been able to do. I hope you got him on your fantasy team because Philadelphia, over 200 yards rushing in back-to-back weeks. This is a run-dominant team that's going to wear you out week after week after week. Jalen Carter is going to be a focus here in just a second, but Sidney Brown, he played in 12 total snaps last night, and he was active. I thought he played very, very well from a secondary spot, but it was his play in the end zone where he broke up an easy touchdown to Mike Evans that really makes you go, this kid has some really serious instinctive football playing abilities, and I think we need to see more Sidney Brown on the field going forward. I mean, it's only 12 snaps, but he was targeted twice, coverage 1 for 2, 1 reception, 5 yards per attempt, a 56.3 quarterback rating. For all the people saying, including myself, that Brown would take some time to figure out this defense, we're into week 3, and even though injuries have kind of forced him out of the field, he looks pretty darn good. What do you guys think? Now, I said pregame with Josh Davis that I thought Olamide Zaccheaus, filling in for the injured Quez Watkins, would have a pretty good night. That ensuing possession, Philadelphia had 2 incredible plays where Jalen Hurts buys time in the pocket, throws it right over a defender, the sideline to find Olamide Zaccheaus. And then can we talk about this not only pocket awareness by Jalen Hurts, but throw to Olamide Zaccheaus for that touchdown catch? This is unbelievable play by number 1, and I think Zaccheaus might have earned some more snaps here. With Quez Watkins out with a hamstring injury and doing nothing the first 2 weeks of the season, maybe Big O, Olamide Zaccheaus, can start to kind of get in as the number 3 receiver and get a couple more reps week after week. Would you guys rather Quez Watkins be in there for his speed or Olamide Zaccheaus be there for his route running ability and catching ability? Let me know down below right now. Speaking of being impressive, Reed Blakenship, that interception on the ensuing drive where he baited Baker Mayfield into throwing it and he just dove in front of it and caught it. What an incredible night from somebody who came back from a rib injury in week 1, didn't play in week 2, and then gets out there and looks like a Pro Bowler. He might not be a starting Pro Bowler for the NFC this season, but could he compete for an alternate slot? Everything I've seen so far says yes. He is really, really instinctive. He makes really good plays in terms of breaking on balls, and I think his ability to play safety right now as an undrafted free agent, we've seen back-to-back weeks, or week 1 and week 3 now, of really impressive play by the Ghost. I think he is having an incredible start to this season, and the sky is the limit for this guy. Now, Jalen Hurts wasn't perfect. I mean, the interception following the Reed Blakenship interception, where he kind of threw it right to Devon White, doesn't make a lot of sense. I'll chalk it up to miscommunication. Maybe DeAndre Swift was supposed to move to the right. Maybe he's supposed to move to the left. Maybe he's stopping on an option route or a Texas route, as they call it. I don't know, and they didn't give us a lot of detail in the post-game press conference, but Jalen Hurts needs to cut down on turnovers. His second interception of the night wasn't really his fault. I think it was just a good play by the safety, but turning the ball over against better football teams like the 49ers could go a long way in terms of the Eagles winning versus the Eagles losing. He's got to be a lot better than that. Now, thankfully, Philadelphia has this guy. His name's Jalen Carter, and everyone thought he would be the best player in this draft, yet he fell to number 9. The Eagles picked him up. Not only was he the best player in the draft so far 3 weeks in, he was the best player on the Eagles' entire defense last night. This punch-out forced fumble on the Buccaneers running back is an absolutely incredible heads-up play to get back after, pass rushing up front, coming back to finding the running back, punching that ball out and creating a turnover right after Philadelphia turned the football over. That was one of many instances where Jalen Carter is breaking through double teams. He's dominating in one-on-one opportunities, stopping the run, getting after the quarterback. This kid is absolutely unbelievable. And to put it in context, look at this tweet here. These are NFL rookie defensive tackle seasons. These are all some of the best, right? Dexter Lawrence, 16 games, 2.5 sacks. Quinnen Williams, 13 games, 2.5 sacks. Chris Jones, 2 sacks in 16 games. And the list goes on and on and on. Jalen Carter has 1.5 sacks in 3 games so far. He literally has to have 2 more sacks, and it'll be one of the most impressive rookie defensive tackle performances out of the past, 5, 10 superstars we've seen for a very, very long time. Everybody keeps raving about this kid, and it's so legit that I still pinch myself every single time I watch him play that Philadelphia got him, and he didn't go number 1 overall or number 2 overall in the draft. Now, Philadelphia would use the tush push to get another touchdown in the red zone, and I'm all for it. I'm not an anti-tush push guy at all. I think it's hilarious how mad NFL people get whenever they watch the tush push saying, oh, Jalen Hurts is going to get hurt from it, or, oh, it's such a cheap play.
Have you ever played rugby?
You do wonder, though, DeAndre Swift is literally hurdling over people to get the Eagles into the red zone. Can you give him a couple of red zone touches? This goes back to the whole idea that there were flaws in the Eagles game last night. It wasn't a perfect performance. They got to be better in the red zone. Over 3 at one point. And while the tush push works when you're on 4th and 1 or 3rd down and 1 from the half-inch line, when you're at 1st down and goal from the 6, can we have some more maybe DeAndre Swift design plays, A.J. Brown design plays, find Dallas Goedert? Give me something in the red zone, Brian Johnson, to make us believe that this Eagle team can score 40 like they should have last night instead of just 25. Either way, it really doesn't matter, because even though Jalen Hurts threw a pick on the ensuing possession, and then the Bucs had a chance to get the ball, go 99 yards, again, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, they stopped these double teams and forced this safety where Nicholas Morrow leaps over his man and gets the tackle in the backfield, and it all is because Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter are eating double teams. You cannot get past these guys. They don't move backwards. They either stand still and plug holes with their massive bodies, or they're actually standing still and pushing you backwards. This was almost a guarantee by the second you saw that the Bucs were going to be on 1st down and 10 from their half-inch yard line, and sure enough, the Eagle defense comes out again with a huge safety. Let's give credit to Sean Desai. The big unknown from the Eagle coordinators, Brian Johnson had been on this team, Desai hadn't. He called a really good game last night, and each week it's getting better and better. The Eagles weren't exposed over the middle of the football field, and clearly we've established the fact that we are one of the best rushing football teams in the NFL. 76 yards allowed against the Patriots. The Vikings ran for 28 last Thursday. The Bucs, who had been running the football at least okay the past couple of weeks, 41 rushing yards. They're allowing 48 yards per game right now. Sean Desai gets a lot of credit early on, and deservedly so, because this defense, even with injuries piling up a little bit, they've been able to slow down every opponent's rushing attack, which is a big factor, especially in December and January and February where it's cold, people are tired, and the good running teams want to establish their dominance. If you can't do that against Philadelphia, you're going to have a long, long day trying to pass block those pass rushers and throw the ball down the field. But Philadelphia is 3-0. And are they perfect 3-0? Was everything exactly as you wanted? No. But what have we learned so far? As mentioned, defense is playing great football. Jalen Hurts is getting better and better despite the flu-like symptoms pregame and obviously during the game as well. And the Eagle faithful, they're traveling right now. Nick Sirianni went into the crowd after the game and seemingly was pumping up the Eagle fans that were there, yelling some expletives, but also saying, this is a bleeping home game. It feels like a home game out there, and showcases Philadelphia Eagle fans alive and well as they always have been, traveling outside of the link. Imagine what the link's going to be like next week against Washington. But this Philadelphia Eagle team and fan base understand how special they are, and it's so fun to see, random stadiums like Tampa Bay getting half covered in Eagles green versus the traditional Bucs red. Let me know what you guys think about the Eagles' performance last night. Is it good? Is it okay? Is it bad? Were there things you want to improve on? Give me your grade overall by the offense and defense. I think Philadelphia is gearing up to go on a little bit of a run here and start really figuring things out. We've mentioned this before, and we'll say it one more time. The Eagles need to pile up wins now. That way when they play teams like the Dolphins, like the Cowboys, like the Chiefs, like the Bills, like the Seahawks, maybe not the Seahawks, but the good football teams in the NFL, they get wins. And the more wins that they have right now gives them a little bit of leeway to lose close ones, heaven forbid it happens, against the Chiefs in, months from now. So Philadelphia notching it up last night, albeit not perfectly, leaving points on the field, turning the ball over twice. They still look like they're in great position. If you're an Eagle fan wanting to complain about starting 3-0, back-to-back seasons, and with that being said, you have better things that you probably should focus on, and that is the fact that Philadelphia is a good football team and is hopefully going to be a great football team by season's end. And we have plenty more stuff happening the next couple of days and weeks. Shout out to all of you guys for hanging out during our live show. Over 1,000 people concurrent at one point. We got a live show Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Myself and Josh Davis. Be sure to subscribe for that, as we have plenty of more stuff happening here on a channel that hopefully is going to be your one-stop shop for everything Philadelphia. Congratulations on the win. The Eagles are 3-0. I'm Thomas Mott. This was the Thomas Mott Show.